Hi. So my name is Sulaiman Galma and I'm a lawyer and I practice in the tech and creative art spaces here in Nigeria. So over the years, I have come to realize that my process needs has come to evolve to the point that I need to learn a lot of these new emerging areas of law. And this is born purely out of the work that keeps coming to my table these days. So basically, these videos I'm going to keep on uploading because I'm trying to learn new parts of, you know, these studies, particularly um, two study parts, blockchain and artificial intelligence. But based on the fact that um, I'm taking it bit by bit. I'm going to start with the artificial intelligence part. So the reason for like context for this video is I these are things I need to learn. These are new things I need to learn, and I've come to realize that one good way I'm learning these days is to read, write, and try to explain to somebody. So I'm trying to do this part of explaining to somebody without having to, set up a webinar of sorts or maybe a class of sorts because of, convenience. But with time, I'm going to do that. And that's the reason why I'm going to upload these videos on YouTube or any other platform for you to see. And if there is any questions you have for me or any part that you want me to focus on, I'm not focusing on, you can just let me know. Or maybe I'm not signing something wrong, you can just let me know. So I'm just trying to test my knowledge about this, and I'm going to do it in a way I understand and not bore you with complications. So basically, I'm going to do this in such a way that I would explain. So this is week one for artificial intelligence. And for artificial intelligence, because it's week one, I'm going to keep it foundational. Like, what is artificial intelligence, the definition, the types of artificial intelligence, the history of artificial intelligence, and what makes artificial intelligence what it is today. So, and then maybe wrap up with the types. So, without further ado, I'm going to start. Yeah, and I'm rocking Nigeria. Big ups to Sway Eagles. So, to start with, artificial intelligence, from what I understand, is, you know, having machines do what human beings would do normally with their brain. So, from the definition, I coined it was like refers to computer systems that software that are designed to carry out certain tasks by following simple instructions, following instructions or learning from examples. So I'll be reading a bit from my notes and stuff so that I can just explain to you guys. So basically, this is what it means. It's using the computer system to do what humans will normally do. So that is what artificial intelligence is, without like any long story. Yeah. Also, basically, based on this, there are two ways artificial intelligence will work, and I think these are the two broad categories of what artificial intelligence is. And mind you, these I'm learning not to become an expert in artificial. I'm learning because it's policy forward. It's a policy forward kind of way. Because places like Nigeria, we don't have policy for artificial intelligence. So I'm trying to learn in such a way that the work I'm doing, and also when the policy conversations are coming in, I can understand. And when the town hall meetings for them come up, there would be I would be in a greater position to be able to join and also advise my clients as it is. So, you know, the based on this definition, which are, carry out certain tasks following instructions or learning from examples, it gives rise to two broad categories, which is, the rule-based system and, data-driven method. So basically what it means that first one is humans can create a clear rule, like rules, and they just write a program for the machine to follow. If A equals to B, A plus B is equals to C, then C plus B is equals to E, something like that. Yeah, I don't know, but they just use logic and create rules that the computer will follow. And once the computer follows that rule, you have a system. Okay, good. And then you have the data-driven systems, which are data-driven methods, which are most modern AI systems you use. So it's apart from giving you a strict rule like it would before, they just give the machine, examples and patterns, and it's going to learn from them. So it just keeps on. That is where data comes in. You get data and then you upload it into the computer. And, for example, the computer is trying to, you know, to show several pictures of cats and dogs and just keep on, learning the patterns of the images. Yeah. Nobody will tell the computer what a cat looks like or what a dog looks like. Yeah. So it just learns from the data it's given. Okay. So you showed me 1,000 pictures of cats and dogs. This is what a cat would look like because it has learned over time. So if the cat has even though it might be furry or maybe all those Siamese cats that don't have this one on their skin, you get to a situation whereby it recognizes based on these features of 1,000 cats that were shown to me, this is definitely a cat with maybe 99% certainty or stuff like that. So yeah, those are the true broad categories from this definition, what it gives rise to, what a AI simply means. So it's basically humans giving rules or showing the machine data to learn from, patterns to learn from. So basically, from the misunderstanding of what AI people think AI is not equal to intelligence. You understand? It's not equal to understand. The intelligence here is not understanding. The computer does not understand what you're giving it. It's just following a rule or it's learning from a pattern you've shown it. And just because you automated it so that instead of you to be putting in pictures of cats and dogs one time, it doesn't mean that the system has come to learn, has come to become independent, autonomous. No, it's not autonomous. It's still based on human work. And finally, just because it gives a certain performance that you want it to give, it doesn't mean that it is 100% reliable. Yeah. So that brings us to the history of AI. And, for you to understand policy better, for you to get the policy better, you have to understand the history of it. Yeah. So basically, back in the day, I think it's going to be done in three broad categories, very, very short categories. Yeah. So you had the expert systems and you had the machine learning systems. And then today you might have foundation models. Yeah. That's how I categorized them. So basically, expert system was like the earliest form of AI. So AI was built based on the idea that the human expertise could be written down as rules. So the engineers believe that if they interviewed enough experts carefully enough, they can capture their knowledge and then using if-then statements, they would create rules that the computer will follow and it will create you know output. Yeah. So basically if they will get, okay, if a patient has this symptom and and also symptom A, maybe symptom B, then the diagnosis will be like symptom C. You understand? Those are how the rules work. So it sounded logical, yeah. But at the end of the day, in practice, it didn't work because when you look at professionals, a lot of things change, in the moment. Yeah. In practice, real world knowledge is different and it is not, the expert will have to be writing rules every step of the way, which cannot be possible. Yeah. So experience, intuition, they all matter. And also context. So not just rules. So what happened with that? Research kept on changing the rules, kept on changing the rules. At the end of the day, the whole system could not be maintained easily. So it just went back to research, moved back to machine learning, whereby, instead of telling computer what the rules are, you kind of give them patterns and data for them to keep on learning from that data. So that was a major shift. Yeah. And that became also an issue whereby there was bias. So if you kept on learning based on the data was biased sometimes, and there are a lot of problem with it. The moment you have a bad data, the whole system collapses at the end of the day. So you needed more and more of that data, but then data is based on human experiences, and that would be issue. So these days, most of these models are used. The data is still being used, but then it has shifted to foundation models, whereby these are big systems built with high-powered machines, and massive amount of data are fed into them, and they do a lot of things. Write, text, analyze, images generation, languages and everything. Those are what we have, today. So based on that, we have two things now that would make an AI system work. So basically, you have the data, which is the fuel of the whole system, and then you these days you also have the algorithm. So the algorithm is like the steps, and the well-defined computational steps used like to input into the machine, and then it outputs decisions. Yeah. So basically, the system doesn't decide. It is, excuse me, it is based on the predefined objectives and the data you feed it. That is when it will give you an answer. So in essence, what this is trying to mean is the human being sets the tone, gets everything pre-designed objective. This is what I want the system to do. And then he has the data, and the algorithm and the data come together, and you have a working AI system. Irrespective of what people think, even if you see an AI misbehaving, it is based on what it is fed as an objective. So it's going to continue doing that. So there are three things it goes through. So you train using the data, and then you test it in a closed environment, and then you deploy it. Deployment, that's when you deploy the system for people to work with it and see how it works. So most times the problem with an AI system does not come within the first two stages, which is training and testing. It comes at the deployment stage, whereby real life data, real life people are interacting with it. So you train it with a preset data and test it whether it's working, and then you deploy it to people to use. And when people use it, and that's when you find the hallucination, the bias, the complaints of bias and everything. Those are where it starts coming. And that's why you keep on tweaking it till the point whereby you find you're satisfied with it. Yeah. So that is basically what an AI system is and how it works, coming together with data and algorithm, the brief history, and what it really is and what it is not and what it cannot do. So basically, there are several types of AI system. I don't want to bore you with that. It's something, but I'll mention a few. So rule-based system, those are, I've already mentioned already, whereby a part of the system is used based on the rules that have been brought together. So based on a set down rule, set of rules, yeah? And the machine will go through a very strict rule regime. And then you have the machine learning, whereby data interacts with data and keeps on going. And then you have deep learning, which is a subset of machine learning, whereby it goes deeper than machine learning and then you also have generative AI, whereby this one generate text, videos, images, and the rest. It's just like your typical chat GPT and stuff. So basically, that is introduction for today. Yeah. So I want to do these videos short, and to the point that I would keep on learning and keep on interacting. And then it gets to a point that I do this on a, possibly a weekly level, whereby I interact live with people so that I will learn and, know where I'm. So it's like a journey for me. And this is the first episode of that journey, the first step to that journey. So if you found this video interesting, please tell me what I missed. Tell me what you don't understand. Ask questions so that I could go on with this journey and know what to do and how to do it and how not to give you wrong advice and stuff. So basically, this is me learning, and I would appreciate it if you can interact with this video and tell me, what I'm missing, or what I didn't explain right, or what I have misunderstood, So I would really, really need your help. And this is the first step, and I would see you next week. As usual, my name is Sulaiman Galma, and see you on the next one. Bye.